because I don't know how many of you seen some of the testimonies, but we really see that all the time, that if people will change what they drink, they can change the way they feel in their life. If you don't mind, Pastor Chris, well, how much weight have you lost drinking the water?
Well, it's either 76 or 78.
Okay.
Yeah.
And about what time frame?
Huh?
So we'll say 75 pounds in less than a year.
April.
In less than a year. And anything else? Your knees, your arthritis?
My knees don't bother me nowhere near as bad unless I'm up on it for hours now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You feel pretty good, I'm assuming?
I feel good. Yeah.
Okay.
I did good for an old man.
Good. Good. All right. So that's pretty good. 75 pounds in less than a year.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah. I just drank the water.
And your arthritis in your knees is better.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff we hear. Diabetics off their meds. Kevin, while we're at it, do you have that picture?
Inside that book right there.
Inside the book?
Yep, in the front.
Yeah, see Pudge here. That's great.
This was Kevin in June. I'll pass it around, let y'all pass it around. That's Kevin now. How much weight?
60 pounds.
60 pounds since June. So you've lost 60 pounds since June. How about your energy?
Oh, out the roof. Out the roof. I mean, plus I'm on a bunch of supplements and stuff like that now. But I mean, I lost 45 pounds just by drinking the water. Started feeling good off the water. It's like, what else can I do to make some more changes and feel even better? And that's when I started adding supplements, changed my diet. I exercise every morning. Just a number of things that I've implemented, but it all started with the water.
Okay, so that's just two instances that we see as a routine thing. We have, like I say, diabetics, we have people with Crohn's, IBS, heart disease, cholesterol, psoriasis, eczema, funguses, nail funguses.
I
Yes.
won't tell these people I'm not a plant either.
No.
I'm not a plant.
You're a pastor, right?
That's right. I wouldn't lie about it.
Okay. Yeah.
It works.
And Kevin's not either. Kevin just helps me out because of what the water's done for him. Man, he hangs out at the drugstore a lot and helps talk to people about the water because I don't always have time because I'm talking to him about supplements or something else. So he's around a lot. So anyway, diabetic Eric, how much weight?
36 pounds.
How long?
12 weeks.
How long?
12 weeks.
All right. What about your sugar?
As best as ever been.
And you're not taking your Amaryl anymore, right?
I got off one sugar medicine. I'm
Right.
also a pastor too.
Yeah, he's pastor too, by the way.
But anyway, yeah.
Now they're Baptists. I don't know if you can trust them. Just kidding.
Hey, we
Just
trust
kidding.
you, Billy.
I know. I'm a Baptist. I'm with you. All right.
It's just been tremendous. My whole family, we don't drink nothing but the water.
Right.
Now, so.
Right. So that's just a few of what you hear from people all the time. Okay?
You hear things from skepticals?
Do what?
I mean, you know, I'm
Oh, absolutely.
I love to lose 60 pounds.
Right.
But I ain't gonna do it just drink water. I gotta quit my eating or something.
Well, it depends on the. I'll tell you what. As we go through, you'll see why some do and some don't. I think you will, and if you don't, I'm gonna take all questions at the end y'all want to ask.
Well, I tell you one thing
Y'all
that
stay here, I'll stay.
one thing that helps, that if you stay hydrated, you won't feel hungry nowhere near as much.
Yeah, and
And
we'll get to that as we go through. Okay. Just so everybody understands who I am a clinical compounding pharmacist, and my wife is too, and we both graduated from Carolina. Yeah. So, I don't think there is another pharmacy school that I know of, not accredited anyway. Other people may go somewhere else, but anyway. We've got 3 locations, getting ready to be 4, but anyway, we teach people. What we try to do is educate folks. And then you decide for yourself what you want to do. All right, whether you want to drink the water, whether you want to use supplements, whether you want to use prescription meds, whatever works for you. All right, because we seem to have a lot more success with people doing the things that we've talked about here. Drinking the water and using the proper supplements, and we'll get to that. If I don't, remind me. Because most supplements are junk and proven in the studies to be junk. 36 out of 40 had toxins in them. All right, we talked about that the other day, Daryl. We had a long discussion about that. It's hard to believe, but it's true. That's what the studies show. Wayne, how much weight you lost?
25 pounds.
How about your knees and hips and all that?
Oh man, when I first started drinking the water, y'all, I could drive from my house to Billy's, which is probably 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even hardly get out of my car. My hips hurt so bad. I mean, both of them, not just one of them, but both of them. and probably a month after staying on the water. My right hip still occasionally gives me a little bit of trouble, but I'm like 95% or better.
So it's fair to say it helped your arthritis.
Oh yeah, and my skin, I had terrible skin from sun damage for years and years, not using sunscreen and all that stuff. My skin's much better, just so much stuff much better. The doctor told me she had never seen anybody my age with a PSA as low as mine. So just lots and lots and lots of things, not just one thing.
Anybody got a pet drinking this water? Anybody got a pet story? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, not really. He drinks more.
Right. Pets will always choose this water over the other, always over tap water. God gave them, I believe, God gave them the innate ability to know that the chemicals are there and they won't drink it. I'm telling you, if you put it side by side, they will drink Kangen water every time. Is that true, Eric? I mean, that is absolutely true with animals.
I'm gonna try that.
And I just wondered if anybody had a pet that had arthritis or some of these skin conditions. Lots of times.
Well,
Okay,
my boxer had a cyst around her breast area, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, just drinking the 9.5.
You wouldn't believe the vets and the people that use this
Yeah, the
water.
hairs, I mean, smoother hair, just
Yeah.
softer, everything.
Lots of them, you know, these little, I don't call them dog rats, is what I call them, but people keep them in the house with them. And you can probably tell I don't have one, but anyway. Couldn't jump up on the bed or the couch with them anymore. They start drinking this water, and all of a sudden their arthritis gets better, just like his and lots of folks. Did you want to?
Mom's got a diabetic cat. You know, she just got her machine not long ago.
Right.
And she said her cat's doing much better on this water
Right.
than it was.
So it's not just for people, it can be used for animals too. All right, and we see it all the time. All right, water is the most essential nutrient in all 75 trillion cells in our body. It is the most important thing. You don't know how many people I talk to who are sick who tell you, I don't drink water, I don't like it. I hear it all the time. How much water do you drink? None. I mean, it's a common thing that I hear. And the way that I learned about this water is from a pharmacist named Mort Farina in Palm Desert, California. Now, Mort was about 73 or 74 years old at the time. He's from Brooklyn, New York, so you can imagine. The guy just straight and to the point. You know, there's no in-between with Mort. And he was going around. I was at an anti-aging conference. I have a fellowship in anti-aging medicine. And he was going around at this anti-aging conference with these blue bottles and pouring it in everybody's glass at the hotel. And he would say, don't drink the water on the table, it'll kill you, and you know, all this. And he was pouring this water in the containers. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I kind of looked at him the first couple times he come around, I was thinking, this guy's a kook. You know, I mean, that's really what I thought. I thought, this guy's crazy. Who is this guy? Well, the more I started hearing him talk, and when he was talking to people, I was like, this guy sounds pretty intelligent. I'm going to start talking to him. So long story short, I started talking to him, asking him, could I take him to dinner that night? He said, no, but I'll take you to dinner. I said, I want to learn about this water. So we did. And that night, he convinced me to buy two machines, one for each of my pharmacies. And he told me something that I'll never forget. He said, if you don't want to change what you do, don't buy it. And it has totally changed what I do as a pharmacist. I very seldom, you come in a lot, several of you come in a lot, I am very seldom counting pills. I'm usually talking to somebody about the water or supplements or both. Okay, it's really changed what I do completely. So, you know, that is true. Enagic is actually now a 36-year-old Japanese company. They have a patent on Kangen water. Now, why is that important? Because lots of companies can make alkaline water. Only one company can make Kangen water, and we're going to talk about why it's different than just alkaline. I can make alkaline water with baking soda, right?
That's right.
I can take tap water and put baking soda in it, and it'll be alkaline. But that doesn't mean that it's good for us necessarily. So, we are going to show you, hopefully tonight, why it's better and why it's different from all the other companies. And if you don't believe that, I have a $2,000 Jupiter machine sitting in my back room in my pharmacy that a woman come in with her husband. She'd had it less than 6 months, and she set it up on the counter and said, here, it's yours. And her husband was going, He said, we're going to sell it on eBay. And she said, no, we're not. She was a severe fibromyalgia patient. And I'll tell you, fibromyalgia generally is not that hard for people to feel better in a big hurry if they'll listen. She had been drinking this water for about 6 months and had no changes. She started drinking the water out of this machine, and in about 2 weeks she was completely over all her pain. And so she changed from the machine she had, bought one of these to go in her home, and gave me the other one and said, you know, it just doesn't work. We tested her water, and it was alkaline, but it wasn't an antioxidant, and it wasn't microclustered. We're going to show you that tonight. And that's what makes Kangen water what it is. It's only been available in the U.S. since 2006. The most common question I get is, why have I never heard of it? I mean, I hear that all the time, and I wish I knew the answer. But your mainstream media is not going to talk about it that I know of, and the medical community generally does not talk about it because it's just not something we're taught as a pharmacist or as a doctor. I mean, it's just not what you're taught to do. So in Japan, might be my next slide, over 6,500 Japanese doctors and surgeons endorse Kangen water and write prescriptions for it. They write prescriptions for Kangen water every day in Japan. Unfortunately, we don't do that here. We do a lot of other things. That's other classes, but we do a lot of other things that may not be as good for us. More than 30 million people in Japan have access from home units or other sources. They write prescriptions for it. We said that. All the major hospitals in Japan use this water. Now, does anybody know what MRSA is? The MRSA infection? Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. A very bad skin infection, very hard to cure. Lots of antibiotics, even surgery sometimes, because it's flesh-eating. It'll spread and eat flesh. They have very little to none in Japan because they use 2.5 Kangen water. We have seen many folks cure their MRSA. Scratch cure from the tape there. Their MRSA has gone completely away without any antibiotics or any surgery, just using the water. We do it. We see it all the time. Diabetic ulcers. We've had dozens of diabetics who are going to have toes or feet or legs cut off who have not had to have their surgery because we've used this water to heal it up. So this water has so much more power than just drinking the water, and that's what I hope y'all get tonight. The drinking the water is just one part of it. There's a lot of other uses for the water, different pHs of the water than just drinking the water. All right? What did I miss on there? Oh, it is a medical device and approved by the Japanese Ministry of Health since 1966. That's like our version of the FDA. So it's a medical device. There's a big difference in a water filter and a medical device, and I tell people that all the time. You can get lots of water filters. You can get a reverse osmosis filter. We're going to show you how bad that is for you though here in just a little bit. You can get distilled water, right? I'm going to show you how bad that can be for you too. And you might say, well, I don't really care what you say. All right? I'll take that as a legitimate argument. But how about Dr. Shinya? Anybody know who Dr. Shinya is besides people who've been in class before? He invented a little thing called the colonoscope. Anybody ever had a colonoscopy? He's the reason. Blame him, not me. All right? He also invented what they call the Shinya technique, which helps them cut polyps out of your colon without having to slice your abdomen open. Pretty good deal. And he still practices at 2 colleges in New York, 2 hospitals in New York. He is the world leader in colon health, in gastroenterology. His #1 recommendation is drink Kangen water. He says in his book, The Enzyme Factor, he's never had a cancer patient that the cancer returned if they did 2 things, drink this water and change their diet. Now for him to say that in writing is pretty strong for me. He, by the way, treats a lot of our presidents, a lot of Japanese prime ministers and folks. He's very, very well known. Okay? And I don't have Dr. Filtzer up here. Dr. Filtzer invented a little thing called the heart stent. His #1 recommendation, drink Kangen water. So I got the guy who invented the colonoscope, the guy who invented the heart stent telling me to do it. And I got all these people around me telling me what it's done for them. Okay? So, Kangen water is all the things you see here. We're going to concentrate on alkaline, antioxidant, detoxifying. It is very oxygen rich. It is microclustered. It's living water. And that's why people see the results they see. It tastes good, the chemicals are gone, the minerals are left in, it's giving an electrical charge. Listen, if you drink this water and then try to drink tap or bottled water, anybody done that?
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
done that?
I did that the other night. I drank this water
Right.
and then took a sip from a Brita filter, and the Brita water was as bitter as eating like sour candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference when you try to change from this water to a different water once you've been drinking it because of the taste.
Billy, my wife was drinking cases of bottled water,
Mm-hmm.
and she just kept on drinking and drinking. And then I finally got her to taste the Kangen water, and I asked her, I said, won't you use it? And I hadn't bought a case of water in 6 months.
That's good.
And we both drank it. She doesn't drink. Oh, she's a kidney dialysis.
Right. She doesn't drink as much as you.
No, she
Right.
doesn't. But you was talking about 2.5. She had a diabetic ulcer
Yep.
right there, or a diabetic sore,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been using that and it's clearing it up.
Yeah. We see that all the time. So that happens a lot. Okay. Dr. Carpenter says it's been an absolute miracle in his practice. Dr. Filzer, who invented the heart stent, is the most powerful adjunct to healthy living. And, Dr. Cohen says that water in its natural state is microclustered, antioxidant, and alkaline from glaciers and streams. Look, this is the way water was intended to be. That's what Kangen means, return to origin. We, unfortunately, because of different organisms and reasons, we treat it. And so we change all the properties of the water, and we add chemicals to it that we know cause all kinds of diseases, including cancer. Does anybody know what fluoride does to you?
Reduces your intelligence.
It decreases your IQ. That's a fact.
Kills your brain cells. It's a
Oh, you should know.
It's a neurotoxin. Hey. It also increases tumor growth, cancer growth by 25%. So just don't believe that it's in your water just because it's good for you. All right. As a matter of fact, there's a new report now that even the American Dental Association is saying that it's not really necessary for teeth, which I've been teaching for a long, long time. Okay. So just you got to think for yourself. All right. I think Dr. Piper says it best, and I wish I had a sheet. I don't, to give y'all. It's impossible to get sick as long as you're alkaline. It's equally impossible to get well when you're in an acidic condition. And if you look at the studies, that's a fact. I mean, those are facts. Dr. Theodore Baruti has written a book called Alkalize or Die. Anybody got one of their sheets that we give you to drink with the water? No? Okay. Hand me one out of there. Wayne, right there. See it? Yeah. There you go. Thank you. This is the list of diseases that he says are created from acidic condition in the body. Now this says everything you can think of. All right, kidney stones, arthritis, diabetes, MS, psoriasis, hemorrhoids, gastritis, headaches, migraines, cold sores, numbness and tingling, loss of concentration, melanoma, gallstones, cervical cancer, breast cancer, fibromyalgia, IBS. All right, so you go on and on and on, but this is from a doctor saying that this is what acidic conditions cause. So, estimates show 50 to 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated, even though they're drinking 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Now, why is that? Does the body really want to take water into the cell that's got chlorine and fluoride and all this stuff into it? Do you think those animals have figured it out and they know something that we don't, maybe? Or that we should? All right, so the body doesn't uptake this water, or tap water and bottled water into the cell like it will Kangen water. And there's a few reasons for that we'll get into. Look at this. Infants are born 80 to 90% water. Healthy adults should be 70 to 75% water. At death, we're about 45. Half of what an infant is at death in the studies. So, we need to be hydrated. Okay? We need to be hydrated. The infant death rate's pretty low. And they're mostly water. And are they really flexible? You can bend them, they can put their feet in their mouth or whatever, you know. I don't know about y'all, but I can't do that. So anyway, not for me. You can survive 90 days without food, but after only 3 days without water, your brain starts to diminish. Okay? Kangen water is a healing water. It can remove cholesterol, fat, and toxins from the body. Kangen water can help you live a healthier, longer life. And that's what we're trying to do. What did David Jacobson call it on the
Holy water.
Holy water. That guy's something else. And here's why you get in trouble if you're not hydrated properly. What's the liver? 96% water. You don't know how many folks had elevated liver enzymes who, after drinking the water, go back to their physician and have them tested into normal. People who are going to have liver biopsies. The brain is 85% water. That's why after 3 days without proper hydration, you start to lose concentration. The plasma of the blood, the liquid part of the blood, is about 93 to 95% water. Do you think that's important? Are we aspirin deficient or are we dehydrated? Okay? There is a doctor who has done a test. It's called the 1.5 minute blood test. She takes a lady's blood, finger prick, puts it under the microscope and shows you how the red blood cells are all stuck together. 6 ounces of Kangen water, 20 minutes later, does the same stick, and the cells are hydrated, oxygenated, and apart like they should be, so they're not clumping. You think that's important for a heart attack or a stroke issue? Very important. Kidneys, 83% water. We've had folks' kidney function double in 30 days. It's not uncommon to see people's kidney function continue to get better as they continue to drink this water. Heart, 79%. We've had people on the heart transplant list at Duke who don't need a heart transplant anymore, according to the physician. So that's a life-changing event for them. The water is micro-clustered. It's a smaller water, so it gets into the cells. Anybody here drinking the water not going to the bathroom more often? If you're not, you need to go see a kidney specialist. Because you should be going to the bathroom more often, because this water is absorbed quicker. It gets into the cells where it needs to be. And if you're not going to the bathroom more, like you said, you're in trouble.
That's
I'm
my
going to tell
biggest
you.
problem. I go to the bathroom I probably get about an hour's sleep every night.
Well, now, we don't want you getting up all night.
Gotta quit drinking at night.
I understand.
I'm on 6 fluid pills.
I understand, and that's got a lot to do with
He
it.
needs
Yeah.
to get Dr. Cather out there.
Yeah.
At night. Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I did have an old gentleman one day. He's 80 or 81, 82, and he was sitting in the back row back there, and he said, "I got one question for you, Billy." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "When I'm drinking a gallon of water every day," he said, "I'm either going to the bathroom or dreaming about going to the bathroom." You know, you got to do what works for you.
I would say I go for probably about every 2 hours. I never get 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
I went to Rhode Island, Virginia the other day with my
Right.
brother, and thank God I had a big tub. I feel that sucker
Yeah.
twice that
Well,
night.
6 fluid pills definitely doesn't help your situation any. That's for sure. All right. So proper hydration assists the body in rebuilding itself. Kangen water, we've talked about, can hydrate the body much more efficiently. And Dr. Shinya, the colonoscope doctor, if you drink plenty of good water, it's harder for you to get sick. Now here's why it's important. 1% dehydration decreases performance by 4%. 2% dehydration causes body to become acidic, and that triggers fat and water storage mode. You don't know how many women, especially hairdressers, nurses, standing on their feet all day, they swell at the end of the day, their ankles. If they will drink this water, in most cases, we see that go away. The swelling goes away. It's not that they have too much fluid, it's that they're underhydrated and the body's trying to hold on to what it has. It's called survival. The body is set up for us to survive. If we don't eat, it's going to hold on to fat. If we don't drink, it's going to hold on to water and fat. All right? So we see that all the time. 3% dehydration causes 10% muscle loss, 4%, 30% muscle loss. Now, do you think that's important? 23 major league sports teams use this water. They got this figured out. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, Miami Heat, Houston Rockets. They figured this out.
Should have given some of it to Tar Heels yesterday.
They could have used a whole bunch of it yesterday. I agree.
Got it out of the game.
3-pointers what beat Carolina yesterday. What's North Carolina didn't come to
Yeah,
play.
that about 20 points.
Lance Armstrong and a lot of those cyclists use the water. Reggie Jackson, Magic Johnson. I mean, there's lots of sports folks who figured this out. All right? And I can tell you, I've run a lot of marathons, and if you get, well, I'm sure I've been 4% dehydrated about mile 22 a couple times. Because I was wanting somebody to run over me. If there'd been any cars on the road, I'd probably jump out in front of one. You know what I mean? With 4 miles to go. So staying hydrated is very, very important. And by the way, if you exercise, this will increase your exercise capacity. Increasing the oxygen of increasing the pH of the blood increases the oxygen by 64.9%. Now that's what the major league teams and the cyclists have figured out. That's important. All right? Daytime fatigue is many times a lack of water. Many people, this is what you were alluding to a minute ago, Kevin. Many people think they're hungry when they're just thirsty. Washington study showed that hunger pains can be relieved by drinking 1 glass of water. 98% of the dieters surveyed. Now, we don't tout a diet here, okay? That's the last thing we teach is a diet. We teach you to eat healthy. Okay, we got a class called Healthy Eating. But if you want to find out a way not to eat as much, drink a 32-ounce glass of this about 15 minutes before your meal. Now, what should you drink with your meal?
Nothing.
Nothing. You want the stomach acid to work. That's why these folks that are on these drugs that are so safe you can buy over the counter like Prilosec, omeprazole, Prevacid, all these safe drugs increase your risk of osteoporosis by 50%, pneumonia by 50%, decrease your vitamin D level by 50%, decrease your B12, your B6, your folic acid. So all these so-called safe over-the-counter drugs, be very careful.
Why does the government let them lie like that?
I don't know that it's a lie. They just don't tell you that.
Making money off it.
Money.
It's all about money.
The drug companies will tell you to never be on those so-called safe drugs more than 8 to 12 weeks in any circumstance. Do you know how many people have been on it for 20 years since I've been in pharmacy? And it's a dangerous game that people are playing when they do those things. You got to know. If you're informed and you want to do that, fine. But how many of you ever heard that before? That have not been in one of these classes? Let me say it that way. Anybody in here been on one of those, what we call PPI drugs, for more than 12 weeks? You've been on one for more than 12 weeks?
I quit taking it.
Yeah, you start drinking the water and taking the probiotics plus, 99 out of 100 see their need for those drugs go away very quickly, usually within 2 to 3 days. Okay? So, it's anti-aging, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory. Now, we're not going to play this, but, well, I am going to play that. Dr. Oz. Y'all all know who Dr. Oz is, right? That was a show showing how bad bottled waters are for you. That's what that show was about. So, we're going to play this clip. The Water Boy, anybody know who Adam Sandler is? Yeah. He's pretty funny, but anyway, we'll watch this. And while we get this ready to show you, have we got a full song up here somewhere? All right, let's go with the...
That was a cheap shot. What a dunk penalty. That puts the Mud Dogs in field goal range for the tie. And I'm not sure that Boucher is able to get back up.
Wait. Bottom left. Bottom.
Dan, you hate to see this happen. That hack one of the game's too low.
Alright, I hope y'all get that when we're done here. Alright. Okay. So, what do y'all wash your fruit and vegetables in? Or do you wash them? You wash your fruits and vegetables? Tap water, well water, whatever comes out of the spigot, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe there's something on these fruits and vegetables that's not good for you? These are tomatoes, strawberry tomatoes. Now it says they're green focus, but I'm thinking there's probably something on here we don't want to eat. Y'all know herbicides and pesticides?
Yeah.
Known cancer causers. Okay, we use like 155 million pounds a year in the U.S. So, we wash them in tap water, right? I'm going to put some of these in here and let Wayne run some tap water over them. tap going, Wayne? Fill this one up with tap, if you will. All right. And this is 11.5 Kangen water made from the machine. Kevin made it earlier today for me. And we'll just let them sit here while we do the rest of this. Does everybody know what an antioxidant is? Everybody understand an antioxidant protects our cells and an oxidant damages our cells? Is that fair enough? An antioxidant, think about it, if you cut an apple open and leave it sitting there, it'll turn brown, right? It's damaging. The air is damaging the apple. The same thing happens inside of us all the time from the decisions we make. We can put antioxidants in the body or we can put oxidants in the body. So oxidants are going to damage us. Antioxidants are going to protect us. Everybody's heard of vitamin C, vitamin E, green tea. I mean, y'all know the things you've heard that are antioxidants, right? All right. This is an oxidation reduction potential meter, and what this does is measure the antioxidant or the oxidizing value of something. Okay? So a positive number is bad. That's oxidizing our body. A negative number is good. That's an antioxidant. Fair enough? So we're going to test these things. How many of you drink Dasani? Anybody? Did anybody drink Dasani before they started drinking Kangen water? I did. It's illegal in Europe. You know why? Health risk. Yeah. So you have to buy that, by the way, right? Can somebody tell me what, is that a positive or a negative number? Can you see that, Darryl?
That's positive.
What's the number?
89, 88, going down.
What's the number?
89.
89. You sure you can see that?
Oh, I thought that was 0.3 there.
What you got there?
847.
All right, 847, and we're not going to wait for it to continue. It'll go down a little bit more. It's usually 700, 800 somewhere, right? But positive, no negative sign. Okay. Here is Aquafina, Pepsi's #1 selling water. Now this is damaging if it's positive. Remember that, guys. What you got, Darryl?
830.
Okay, so we're still above 800.
820.
Okay. Vitamin water. Now, vitamin water good for us?
Of course it is.
It's good for us, right? Yeah. It's vitamin water. It says it is. What you got, Darryl?
6.
It says it's got vitamin C, B3, B5, B6, B12, A, E, and zinc, and electrolytes. It's got to be negative.
565.
Positive? Okay. So it's not good. Now, Propel says right on the bottle, antioxidants. So this one should go negative. Antioxidant will be negative. What you got, Darryl?
470, 440, 430, 420.
Okay. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. Okay. Sprite. How many of you think this is good for you? Anybody in here think Sprite's good for you? Propel, by the way, I understand is being sued for saying antioxidant on the label. It's not hard to prove that it's not.
Isn't their bottle BPH free?
What bottle?
That bottle.
I see no indication of that.
I saw one.
I don't see where it tells me that.
Oh, no,
I can't promise you it's
don't.
not, but it
don't
doesn't say that.
but
Yeah.
it has that emblem when I saw it.
Okay. And it may be. I don't
But
know.
that's just the bottle.
Right.
That don't go in your body.
Sprite.
620.
So it's climbing again.
It's going down. 614, 610,
Okay.
608, 605.
Okay. So about 600 positive. All right. Gatorade. Positive or negative?
Water.
Well, we're gonna find out. Wayne, how about some tap? What you got there?
730.
Climbing?
Going down.
Climbing to 730 though, right?
Contact
Okay.
730. 700 now.
All right.
690.
So it's still positive, right?
Positive.
Okay.
All positive.
All right. Let's see about Kings Mountain water. How many? What do y'all think? We get some 9.5 there, Wayne. And then in here too, Wayne. Okay. What do y'all think about the Kings Mountain water? I should have brought. I should have brought Gastonia water because I promise you it's always worse. But anyway, what you got there?
700, 692, 670, 668.
So we're still positive in the 600s. All right. So none of these were negative. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. All right, so we can assume from the antioxidant value that they're all damaging to our cells. Is that my 9.5, Wayne? Okay, let's see what you got there, Daryl.
-6, -8, -820,
So minus?
-820,
All right.
-829, -830.
Okay, so we went from 6, 7, whatever, to positive to -800, the most powerful antioxidant we know of. Anybody know what vitamin C is on the scale? ORP scale? About -70.
-70, yeah.
All right, this is -840 right here. That's what we're sitting at. That's why so many people have, or one reason why so many people have tremendous health benefits from it. It's the most powerful antioxidant we know of. Did you see that with your diabetes? Did you see that with your weight loss?
Oh, yeah.
You saw that with your arthritis. You saw it with weight loss and energy. Okay? That's the stuff we see all the time. So if I can put something that is, well, we'll say 10 times to be safe, more antioxidant value than vitamin C, you think that's important to your body? Now that Jupiter machine that the lady gave me, it won't do this. It's still a positive number. Still a positive number. It was a $2,000 machine. It was a positive number. Okay, so it will make an alkaline water, it won't make an antioxidant water. Okay, so, is everybody good with that? Now, if we agree, did y'all get these sheets in? Y'all got these sheets. If we agree with Dr. Baruti, and y'all see that acidity self-checklist, right? We want to be drinking stuff and putting stuff in our body that's alkaline, if you believe what studies show. So I'm going to use some pH drops. Here's our chart. This is alkaline, purple. Green is neutral. Anything yellow as we go, orange and yellow, is very acidic. Okay? So we want purple in our bodies. Dasani, Aquafina. I'm not going to do the Gatorade vitamin water because they're colorful. All right. Do our tap water. All right. Dasani is about a 4.5 pH. Okay? Very, very acidic. Y'all know 7's neutral? Anything above 7 is alkaline, anything below 7 is acidic. Aquafina is about a 4.5 pH. Propel is even less. Let's look at Propel and Sprite side by side. Whoops. What do we got? About 2.5. Do you know that's 50,000 times more acidic than the blood should be? 50,000 times. Okay? The body has a way to correct that, though. It's unfortunate for folks. But now, let's look at our tap water. It's kind of neutral, isn't it? Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it? It's neutral. All these other things are really acidic. But this was neutral. Now, how'd they get it there?
Chemical.
Cancer-causing chemicals. You remember the number? What was the number on this one? Do you remember, Daryl? Anybody? Like 700? Positive?
6.
All right.
600.
600 and something. All right. Now let's look at Kangen water. That's alkaline. Okay? Oops. Here we are on the scale versus 50,000 times more acidic than the blood should be. I'm sorry. Why I need to hold that up? Excuse me. Did you get the rest of them? I'm sorry. We're filming this for a physician who wants us to show it to him. He didn't come, but he said he would watch it. We'll see. So, all right. I want you to think of, you hold this up. Let's think of our body when we're born. 90% water and alkaline. So this is when we're an infant. We're born alkaline, and we're healthy, and we're hydrated. And then we start introducing this. How old do they have to be before they drink this now? Just drink it out of a bottle, can't you?
Yeah.
Drink it out of a paper bottle.
Listen, I saw a grandmother put one in a little boy's mouth, put it down in Coke,
Yep.
and put it in his mouth, and he was a day and a half old.
Yeah. Well,
Oh my God.
I've seen
that doesn't shock me, but this is Sprite, by the way. We're going to do a cap full. We're going to see what happens with our cap full. What starts to happen to the body? You see what's happening to the body there? It's getting more and more acidic. And just watch it. It'll keep going. So that's a capful, and it's 16.9 ounce drink here. Let's just do one more capful. Let's make it 2 capfuls. Now tell me, what's the body going to do in that situation? What's the body start to do when we're here? Understand, the pH of the blood needs to be slightly alkaline. 7.35 to 7.45 as a generalization is where we need to be. All right? On a scale of 0 to 14, we need to stay between 7.35 and 7.45. At 7.0, guess what you are? You're in a coma, lucky to be alive. 7.0 pH neutral for your blood is not really conducive to life. Okay? So how does the body fight this? What does it do? What's the #1 cause of osteoporosis?
Acidity.
Anybody?
Acidity.
Lack of calcium.
No. Acidity.
You sure it's not lack of calcium?
I'm positive.
But I see, yeah, calcium deficiency. Are you sure that's not what it is? Because that's what I see on TV all the time.
Well, they're lying to you.
Here's what happens. When you're drinking all this acidic stuff and we're eating all this acidic stuff, guess what happens to the body? To keep the blood 7.35, 7.45, God put in an amazing thing. It'll take the calcium monophosphate from the bones in the joints. That is by far the #1 cause of osteoporosis in the U.S. Over 70% of women tested in the U.S. with osteopenia and osteoporosis were not calcium deficient. Were not calcium deficient. Guess what they were? The body has no choice. It's a survival mechanism. Just like holding on to the water causing you to swell. It's a survival mechanism. So when we do these things, this is what we get. And the body reverses it by taking calcium, and minerals are very alkaline. So it takes minerals from our bones and our joints, and that's how we end up with osteoporosis and torn ACLs and torn MCLs and whatever all we end up with. Okay? How many kids, this is all they drink?
Oh, man.
I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I know, it's not unusual. For each 16 ounce soft drink, I have people all the time, well, I'll drink water, but I need 1 soft drink a day. Okay, fair enough. You need 32 8-ounce glasses of this to get you back where you started, just to neutralize this 1 drink. What's 32 times 8? It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. It's a lot of water in a day. Just to get you back where you started, not to start alkalinizing the body. Okay, so you can get rid of some of these conditions, hopefully, or improve these conditions. All right. So, we see that it's an antioxidant and we see that it's alkaline. And if we look at our studies, we know that alkaline is a healthy body. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
That's why people see the results they see. Now, you ask the question. I need to lose 60 pounds or whatever you said. Not everybody is going to lose 60 pounds with the water. They're not. But if you're overly acidic, it can cause you to lose a lot of weight. If you're overly toxic, it can cause you to lose a lot of weight. The reason is the water is cellular water and it will get into the cells and flush toxins out. Where does the body store toxins? In the fat. Now again, it's a survival mechanism. Why does God make the body store toxins in fat? Because it doesn't want them running around getting to the kidneys, into the liver, into the brain, into the heart, into everything else. The gallbladder. You know gallstones are acidic condition. Kidney stones, acidic condition. I had a guy who was an alcoholic who started drinking the water. He was an alcoholic. He's recovering. But he came in and he was like this. And he said, you got to help me. He had gone to a physician. They wanted to put him on Klonopin. That's a nerve pill. He said, why would I go from one addictive substance to the next? So he said, I want to do something natural. So we put him on the water, not for the calm him down, but because he needed to be drinking the water to flush all the stuff out of the system from the alcoholism. Liver, 96% water, right? We gave him a natural supplement, a flower supplement, passion flower, and it just calmed him down within about 10 or 15 minutes. He sat there, took it with the water, and he was like this, steady. He told me, he said, what do I need to do? The doctor tells me. He pulled up a shirt, and he had a I don't know what you call it, a mass right here. And he said, the doctor wants me to have a liver biopsy, but I don't really want to do it. And I said, well, you know, you've been alcoholic. You may need to heed that advice. He said, well, I don't want to do it right now. And I said, okay. He said, what I need to do? I said, you need to drink 2 gallons of this water a day. You need to take alpha-lipoic acid and milk thistle. He said, all right, I can do that. I said, you can drink 2 gallons of water a day. He said, yeah, I can do that if it's going to make me better. He was hurting really bad in his side. 2 days later, he came in. He said that when he'd gone to the bathroom, he had little green peas all in the toilet. And he said within just a couple days, that knot was gone completely. And his pain was gone. All right? It flushed out whatever. Gallstones, liver stones, I don't know what he had. Okay? Kidney stones, I don't know. But his wife was blown away because he went and got her and said, you need to come look at this. She was like, I don't know what's coming out of you, but I hope it's going to make you better. So that's the kind of stuff that we see when we use this water.
What size of water do they drink when it's on?
9.5. 99% of the folks, I say you're probably going to detox. You may detox, just drink the 9.5 and get it over with. Most common is diarrhea, and the second most common is a headache. For certain people, I would tell them with a kidney issue or something, start with 8.5 and let's go slow. But it's rare that we do that. Most people were just like, I'm kind of, you know, I guess I'm still from the old school, just suck it up and get it over with. Drink more. You know, people will call me. His wife, I'll tell you what, Shannon was ready to kill me, was she not? Yeah. His wife was ready to kill me. She cuts hair for a living. And she called me about day 3, and I had warned her, did I not, Eric? You may detox, Shannon. She called me about day 3, and she said, Billy, I'm telling you, I cannot hardly stand up and work. I'm going to kill you. I mean, and literally, that's, you know, we went to school together, you know, and I was like, Shannon? She said, what do I need to do? I said, Shannon, I know you don't want to hear this, but drink more water. And she said, golly, you're killing me, you know. And I said, well, drink more water. She called me about 2 days later, and she said, I feel the best I've ever felt.
About 72 hours.
Huh?
About 72 hours.
About 72 hours. Yeah. So it's a matter when the body is detoxing, believe me, you're not going to feel good. You're just not. It requires a tremendous amount of energy. We do a whole class on GI health and detox. You're not going to feel good, period. Not everybody detoxes, some do, some don't. Okay? So,
Billy, remind me to ask you a question.
Okay.
About the detox.
All right.
When you're done.
So when your body's acidic, you'll experience many ill effects. This tells you, this is Dr. Susan Lark. She's a very well-known physician in the U.S. Now here's Baruti's list. Y'all already got it, so I'm not going to go over all of it. But you see, this is Dr. Shinya's picture, okay? People say, well, why is diarrhea the #1 side effect of this, or detox effect? I don't even call it a side effect, a good effect of this. All right, well, let's see what the guy who's done over 300,000 colonoscopies says. That was 3 months before the water. This was 3 months after the water. Now, he says that's what a colon's supposed to look like. And since he's done 300,000 of them, I'll take his word for it. Okay?
I don't want the other one.
Well, I agree. There's a 45-year-old female with breast cancer, chronic constipation, 3 months after drinking the water. Now, look. Here's the deal. Dr. Shinya, his book is called The Enzyme Factor. He believes all diseases start in the colon, all of them, from toxic backup. This is leaking back out into the bloodstream. That's what happens. And when we run out of places to store it, it's going somewhere. Maybe the brain, maybe the breast, maybe the heart, maybe something. Kidneys, who knows? But it's going somewhere. That's before, 3 months after. Now this is from the world expert, so I have to take his word for it. You know, and too many people have told me, you know, the first few days of drinking that water, I had to stay close to the toilet. I tell them that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing for you. All right? So, we talk about cholesterol. We have people's cholesterol come down 100, 150 points using the water. Sometimes we use supplements. We try to get them to do like Kevin and start drinking the water, start feeling better, start losing weight, and then we add the right supplements. pharmaceutical grade, certified good manufacturing practice supplements so that they feel even better. But the water gets the snowball going down the hill. If we can get you to feel better in a hurry, start losing a little weight if you want to, get your diabetes down in a hurry, you start having faith in what we're telling you, right? And so then you'll come back and say, now what did you say about that supplement I need to do? Or what else do I need to do? Or so-and-so said I need to do this, what do you think? So we hear that all the time. But we've got people whose cholesterol, give me some more tap water, has gone down over 100 points, 150 points with the water. People's blood pressure has normalized. People's Crohn's disease symptoms have normalized. People's IBS. Pour it in my water here.
What was your cholesterol level to begin with?
You know, I don't really remember the numbers. I just remember them going down.
So you're saying it could go from 200 to 100?
I'm saying if it goes to 100, I'm going to tell you it's too low.
Well, I mean,
okay.
It's high if you're 100. I mean, you said it drops 100 points. Most people around 180 or so.
No, not most people. But I'm going to tell you this. That's a whole different class, heart disease and cholesterol. I think that the whole cholesterol numbering system by the drug companies is wrong. That's my opinion based on studies. I think getting your cholesterol too low is proven to be more dangerous than too high. Okay?
You know what, to piggyback on that, Bill?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
There's two different tests that they are taking for cholesterol right now.
Yes.
That's kind of fighting each other.
Yeah.
So it confuses a lot of people.
Well, when they come to our class, we talk about the different tests and why you need which one. But these folks had high cholesterol, okay? But I'm a firm believer that if you look at the side effects of those drugs to lower cholesterol, you would run. Yeah, you would run, believe me. And that's, like I say, that's a whole different class.
Yeah.
What happens when you mix oil and water? Separates, right? The oil rises to the top. That's tap water and sesame oil. Now, the reason we said it could emulsify fat, cholesterol from the body, this is the Kangen water that Kevin had made earlier today. Now, this is 11.5 for demonstration purposes. 9.5 will do this somewhat. It makes an emulsification. So it's flushing fat and cholesterol from the body. Not everybody needs to lower their cholesterol. Okay? I don't think most of you even want to lower your cholesterol. Not with a drug. If you're doing it with water, that's one thing. Okay? So, Wayne, will you start? Let's, give me something to pour my tomato water in.
Well, how does it lower blood pressure?
Well, because the kidneys have a job. That's a great question. The kidneys have a job. And the job is to filter the blood. The kidneys are designed to filter so much blood every day. So if there's not enough fluid and not enough blood, remember the plasma, the liquid part of the blood, is about 95% water. If there's not enough blood there, guess what the kidneys will do? They'll increase the pressure to filter enough. Now, that's not always the cause of high blood pressure, but the kidneys have to have enough fluid going through them. So they'll raise the pressure to get enough blood to filter through them, and that's what can increase the blood pressure. Lots of folks' blood pressure normalizes when they drink the water. Not everybody. We have to use supplements for that.
What would your expectation be on the drop of blood pressure?
It varies. It really varies. But I'll tell you this, the people that will drink the water and take the supplements, their blood pressure will 99% of the time normalize. Do you know that there's supplements that are proven to lower the blood pressure more than any drug? I mean, it's proven. We don't always know that, though. We got to know that to be able to do it. We see all kinds of numbers, to be honest with you. Very high blood pressures that normalize with CoQ10, acetyl-L-carnitine, vitamin D, different things for different folks. Okay? This is the tomatoes we washed in tap water. What did we wash? If I had chlorine drops, which I'm out, I would show you that we did wash something. We washed this water. The chlorine's now in this oil-based pesticide and herbicide. I promise you. It's there. By washing these in tap water, you've probably done yourself a disservice. You're probably better off just to eat them like they were. The chlorine is now gone. We washed the water. All right? Here are the same tomatoes in 11.5 water. You see the difference in that? That's stuff that we don't want to eat right there.
Hold them
You
up
can
together,
taste the
Billy.
difference if anybody wants to.
They're squeaky.
So you can see we washed nothing or we washed a lot off. Now remember, these are cancer-causing chemicals. Now I understand that almost all conventional produce is radiated before we get it. Now why do they do that? Is radiation good for you, first of all? No. Alright. So why would we want to eat something that's been radiated? Why do they want to radiate it? Kills the enzymes so that it'll last on the shelf longer. Now why do we eat fruits and vegetables? Shinya's book is called The Enzyme Factor. You need enzymes.
You ain't gonna be able to eat the
Okay.
fish pretty soon, because it's gonna be kind of with radiation from Japan all over the place.
Well, just know that in the studies, almost all municipal water supplies, they've all got chemicals in them, we know that, right? Most of them have fluoride in them, not all, but most. And they have today prescription drug traces in them. Now why is that?
Flushing.
People are flushing them, and people are taking them and then flushing them. Okay? We're still going to flush it even when we swallow it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Guess what? The drug treatment plants are not handled to take out, because when they designed most of these, not everybody walking and breathing was on 18.5 prescription drugs. So not only are you getting the chemicals, you're probably getting somebody else's prescription drug traces. I just soon pass on that myself. All right? So we see these things all the time, and we wonder why everybody's sick, right? Do y'all know the side effect list of drugs? I mean, really, if you looked at it, you'd be scared to death. You really would be scared to death of the side effect list of the drugs. If you're on a drug for your diabetes and you know that it increases your risk of heart attack by 400%, would you take it? Even though the FDA says it's, quote, safe? I'd be a little bit skeptical, wouldn't y'all? If I knew that. If I knew that the hormone I was taking was pregnant horse urine, would I be a little bit skeptical of that when I saw the side effect list? First one being breast cancer, second one being uterine cancer. I'd be a little bit concerned. So y'all need to educate. You need to educate yourself. All right, and we do 12 classes on all these topics. The cholesterol topic, the heart topic, diabetes. All right, hormones. What else do we do? Thyroid. Somebody help me to spin through it. Osteoporosis is a good one. Thank you.
Grass-fed beef.
I'm sorry?
Grass-fed beef.
Grass-fed beef, organic gardening. Cancer. We do a cancer class. Diabetes class is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, any of you are diabetic. Now there is a charge for the 12 classes, but if somebody wants to come see what one is like, they're welcome to. Okay? So y'all can come if you want. All right, we have any questions before I talk about the other uses of the water? We hadn't really talked about